Hurrah! It's back, and so is the wonderful Andy Brassell, and it's the same noise I make when I see him. Hello, Andy. How are you?
Hey, Andy.
Hello, you guys. How are you?
We're good. We're very excited about the return of the Champions League. Have you changed your mind? Because we've had a bit of a break, and of course all these teams have been playing league football. Have you changed your mind as to who you think is going to go the furthest?
Possibly. It's really difficult to call at the moment. I think we identified when we last spoke before Christmas that top four of Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester City and Bayern. And apart from City, and to a certain extent Liverpool, they've got issues at the moment. Bayern, of course, got belted at the weekend at Bochum, which was a real surprise as well. It's the first time since 1975 that they conceded 4 goals in the first half. So there are issues for all of these teams to pan out. But that's what makes it, I think, such an exciting competition, that there's no cast iron favourite.
Okay, let's talk about the game tonight that we can hear on talkSPORT 2. PSG versus Real Madrid, and it's only football seems to be able to write these scripts where you've got a player worth £200 million plus, in MBAPPE, who's probably going to be playing against his future employees that's going to leave on a free, and he's probably going to have an impact in this game one way or another.
Yeah, he will, and that's why he doesn't want to talk about what's coming next. He's super concentrated on this, and it's an extraordinary thing, isn't it, when they've spent all this money to bring Neymar in, contractually to bring Messi in. I mean, Leonardo, the sporting director, was being slapped on the back for all these free transfers he made last summer with Ronaldo and Donnarumma. Of course, they're the least free transfers that you'll ever make in your life, because they're earning an absolute fortune. And it's the guy who was already there, the guy who was overshadowed a bit, I suppose, by these stars, and has always been very politically correct in saying, "Oh well, it's Neymar's team. You know, I'm just helping as best I can." It's Mbappe's team, and until he leaves, it will always be Mbappe's team. Of course, it doesn't look like Neymar will start. He's been out 2.5 months, so even if he's involved, it'll be on the bench, I suspect, and it almost creates a little less of a problem for Pochettino, because when he's got to include all 3 of them. And when they're fit, he has to include all 3 of them. PSG look a lot less balanced, and they need Mbappe +1 running the show, really.
Before we move on, who's your favourite for that one tonight, Andy?
I think it's a draw on the night. I think Real Madrid take the tie.
Okay. The other game, of course, the one we'll concentrate on here live on talkSPORT, Sporting Lisbon or Sporting, take on Manchester City. On paper, this is going to be all one-way traffic, isn't it?
Yeah, on paper it definitely is, because I think it's not just the gap in resources between the 2 clubs, the 2 teams. And Sporting have done some incredible things over the last couple of years under Ruben Amorim. It's the fact that, if you go back to the start of the group stages, they lost 5-1 at home to Ajax Sporting in their opening game. Now, it's remarkable. I can't think of a team, probably since Leeds got belted at the Camp Nou on match day 1, going back to 2000, that a team has been absolutely smacked on the first day and then gone on to go through like that. And they went through with 2 games to go as well. It was remarkable, really. So I think the fact that the way they played in that game, the response in Portugal to Ruben Amorim, who's a terrific young coach, was, "You can't play like that in Europe. You know, it's way too open." And he said, well, he's someone who's very honest, he's very forthright, and he said, "Well, I don't agree with you. We're going to keep playing the way we play." And they did, and it got them out of the group. And, you know, they beat Dortmund, and it was a terrific effort from them. But if you're sticking to that way of playing against Manchester City, that, to me, I smell trouble. You know, it seems to me that they'll go out there, they'll probably have creditable passages of play, they'll get beaten quite heavily, and I suspect he'll get a little pat on the noggin from Guardiola afterwards about how they play the game the right way and all that sort of stuff. You know, they've got some terrific players, but if they're going to play really openly against Manchester City, they're asking for trouble.
Andy, this is the first time that we're going to see the Champions League knockout stages that we don't have away goals count as double if it is a draw. I'm not a particular fan of it, in all honesty. I think that there's a bit of jeopardy, which I absolutely adore, but clearly we're going to see a different type of tie. You know, there's no need to go from away from home to sit deep and try and catch teams on a counter to get the away goal and perhaps try and defend your lead. What are you expecting, in all honesty, over these up-and-coming fixtures?
Like you, Jay, I think it's a bit of a shame. I think it added an extra layer to it, even though I understand that some people felt it was outdated. I think the main argument for getting rid of it is that for a lot of teams, their aim was to not concede a goal at home. So if you're in the boat that Sporting are in, for example, would they think, let's not attack this, because if we get a clean sheet against Manchester City, I mean, it's a Herculean effort to do that, obviously, but that is a good result. So I don't need to think about that now. Just go and try and win the game like it's any other match. They don't have to worry about conceding a home goal. So from that perspective, that changes things. For other teams, and I'm not talking about Manchester City here, maybe going away and getting a draw is a result, like the old days. It's like Mourinho's back in fashion. Unfortunately, he's not in the Champions League, but you know.
Go on then, that game is live on talkSPORT tonight, 8 o'clock it kicks off, City away at Sporting. What will the score be, Andy Brassell?
Manchester City comfortably. I'm going to go 3-1.
3-1, okay, all right. Always a pleasure. Keep up the great work, and we'll speak to you in a bit.
Thanks, guys. Speak to you soon.
There you go, the legend. He's a legend as well, the wonderful Andy Brassell. How do you see that going tonight, Sporting against Man City?
Oh, City comfortable. I mean, they're quite an open attacking side from what I can gather, Sporting, but I just don't see anyone beating City.
And PSG v Real Madrid?
Draw.
Go and draw, yeah.
Go and draw.